Hello, hi, welcome back to my channel. This is me, Prem Kumar. In this video today, we're talking about rental deposits, basically the amount that you pay as part of your rental agreement, which is generally 5 weeks worth of your rent. That amount is something that landlord or the agents try to actually take unfairly at the time of your ending tenancy. And in this video, I'll be telling you each and everything that I know about this whole process. My landlord, actually my agent, tried to take some deposits from me unfairly for my last house, and I contested that, actually disputed it, and I had to pay nothing to them eventually. So literally that's why I thought, let's make this video and tell you, how to make sure you are monitoring each and everything throughout the process, and you can actually dispute that. So straight into the end, you need to make sure that you are not paying anything unfairly to anybody, agent or the landlord, in case you haven't done anything wrong. So yes, straight into the end, we'll talk about that. Ahead of going more in the video, you can check my channel for more than 500 videos about different things like immigration, UK careers, life in the UK, savings in the UK. There's a lot more on my channel, settled in different playlists, so definitely check them out. There's a lot going on there in playlist, so yes, and of course subscribe for more such content, and definitely like, share, comment, whatever you like. Thank you so much. So the first thing first, what's the rental deposit? As I mentioned earlier, you pay 5 weeks worth of deposit as part of your tenancy, which is written in your agreement as well. So you pay that, and that's usually put in a deposit protection scheme. There are a lot of protection schemes in the UK, and your landlord and your agent is responsible, legally responsible, to put that in that sort of a scheme, and you would get a letter, a certificate from them as part of your deposit, protected deposit. So that's something to be done, and that's the starting point. It's usually 5 weeks of the deposit. Secondly, we'll talk about stats here, and that's really important to understand what the actual stats in terms of deductions, and you can really see, is a fair deduction, is unfair deduction. So on average, £250 is generally a deducted amount as per research from the tenants, by the landlords, as part of cleaning, as part of any damage, etc. However, as per market research, around 29% of people actually pay up to £500 worth of deposit as part of deductions, any part of damage, etc. And around 16% people actually pay around £750 worth of deposit as part of damages, as part of cleaning as well. And if you imagine, generally if a house or flat got the rental of maybe 1500, that deposit can be like 1800. You are paying around 800 to £900 worth of deposit as part of damage. That's a significant amount, and most of the times it may be just unfair. You might not have done anything wrong. So yes, something like this was tried with me as well. In my last property, I was asked to pay for something that I did not do, and I disputed that, and I had to pay nothing in the end, and I of course took my whole deposit in the end. So yes, I'll be telling you what to do from start to end, from start when you start looking at the property till you vacate the property, and what to make sure. One more important thing to highlight just before we go in more details is how to look after it. Around 79% of the people who actually dispute the unfair deposit deduction actually get some sort of reimbursement, some sort of less deduction. So it's really important to make sure you have the rights to dispute, and it's not like landlord or agent just deducting the money and you have no say. You actually have a lot of say here. You can go to deposit protection scheme, you can go to court. There's a lot can be done, so we'll talk about that as well in this video. So how to make sure you're not paying anything unfairly, and I'll share top tips I have used, and of course I had to pay nothing in my last property here. So the first thing first, when you go for viewing, make sure to take a video, pictures as well, at least showing the bigger things. So when I went for a property viewing, I generally take a lot of videos of the place just for myself to recheck, and then of course making sure I have everything covered. So I did that in my last property where I had this dispute process, and that would actually help me in some case. After that, once the offer got accepted and you are ready to move in, of course there are two things you need to make sure. The first one is when you get the keys, of course make sure each and everything is checked before you get your stuff in the property. The property is empty, right? You can literally see every wall, floor, everything, literally the property, if it's the furniture. It's really important to make sure you capture the whole place thoroughly in the video. Literally, close-ups. There are scenes like a socket broken. I was asked that hey, you broke socket, but I didn't know that was already there in the property, and I captured that initially when I moved to that original property. It was in video. So you need to make sure each and every single thing is captured in the video and in the pictures. Where there are issues like that, you can actually have more pictures as well. So and really important is you keep that folder somewhere secure, somewhere separate. Just don't keep on mobile. If mobile gets lost, it's London, right? There's a lot of snatching, so you just keep that somewhere saved, and really helps as well. So that's the really important pictures, video, which of each and everything, because I'm telling you, despite inventory report, which we're going to talk about next, these things are really important for dispute. And and what helped me in the dispute process with my last agent was all these videos and pictures that actually showed the condition of property from my eyes, from my mobile, and not their inventory report. So very important. Second bit that's most important is inventory report. The landlord, the agent, is responsible to provide you inventory report showing the condition of each and everything from day of your rental start. So it will be in sort of a report. It can have a different format, but what you need to make sure is you check each and everything thoroughly over there. The agents or the landlords give you a week worth of time generally, or can be more or less, but you need to respond back to them with all the issues and make it as detailed as possible, like everything that you even feel is wrong, because you want to make sure you are not missing anything, and they know the condition of property, so it comes to the end for dispute. So make sure the inventory report is thorough. Just don't rely and just don't keep whatever they send you. Do respond back, and of course your own pictures and everything. Once you've settled the property, now it's time about living the property. Of course, you're not responsible for any issues with the normal wear and tear. There's a property, it will go have a wear and tear, the furniture will go worn up, the walls will have some marks over time. It's all allowed, it cannot be deducted, so you are in the contract. However, you need to make sure you're not doing anything purposefully, blocking something that generally shouldn't be blocked, or doing something on the wall, like hammering things, or you want to install something, don't do that. But generally what happens is, when you live in the property, you need to make sure of a few things. Number one, if you're doing any sort of installation, even broadband, if you're drilling a hole in the property, make sure to get a written approval from your landlord, from your agent. It's just easy, it's just say, I want to install a new line, there's nothing existing, that means a hole in the wall, kind of drill, and they should be approving that. If they can't approve, just ask for dispute why you can't approve this necessity. So do that. And at the same time, for any maintenance, of course, it's a property, it will have issues, and landlord is responsible for maintenance of most of them. Of course, it's a classification of what is landlord responsible, what you're responsible, but just flag anything that's problematic, even small one, right? Just flag to landlord the system. Make sure you keep all the pictures that you've raised over year of your tenancy in somewhere, all the reports that because all that will help eventually. Sometime down the line they can say, hey, it was your problem and still we fixed it for you, but at the time you can have all the proofs. This is a property issue, it's not my issue. So make sure to keep all the maintenance related issues with you. For example, I had the issue of mice many times in my property. I had to raise 5 to 6 times in 2 years mice issue. And even after that, if there was any issue in the property at the end, I could have just said, hey, this is the property issue, not mine. They just keep coming. So keep that track. That really helps. Keep everything in the email, everything in the system, and don't just do yourself. Next important bit is, you need to make sure if you are spending any money on the property, changing bulbs, changing anything, changing sort of glasses, something that's broken off, something sort of wall. If you're doing anything at all in the property, make sure you get the receipts. Eventually, they can come handy for you in the end to prove that you spent a lot of money on the property itself, which is not even yours. And of course, a lot of agents or landlords have those generally quarterly inspections. So you need to make sure that you get those reports as well from the landlord, from the agents, which will show the condition of property as how it progressed from start to end, and you can of course identify or rectify any issues over time if they arise. But make sure you keep those reports as well with you. Other things, of course, the common sense is, you need to make sure you clean the property, you keep it clean, you don't make it dirty, no infestation. There's a lot written in the rental agreement that you'll get, which makes sure that what are your responsibilities, as long as you fulfill your responsibilities, you don't mess up anything. If landlord tries to take a lot more share than you, or literally takes the deposit unfairly, you have a right to dispute. After that, at the end of tenancy, now it's time about checkout, and of course you will get a checkout report which will show the condition of property. Landlord tries to compare that to initial report and see what's the wear and tear, what's the actual damage, who is responsible, all the stuff, and they can actually try to charge you. So what happened in my case, that I was being asked for 3 to 4 different things that they thought I'm responsible for. I damaged them, but I did not. It was either already issued the property or something that was not my responsibility. Like one of the things they say, there was something around the carpet that's no longer there. I here it's not even in the old video that I took when I moved in the property. So I disputed that. There was a socket issue I mentioned. I had a picture from past, hey, this is not there. And there was another issue as well with the wall. I just said, hey, it's not there. So all these things really help the checkout report. You can just dispute that very, very easily if you got the proof. As I said, if you just leave that, you're not gonna get any money. But if you dispute that, 79% of people actually are successful after disputing. All in all, at the time of checkout, you have to make sure you clean the place properly. Otherwise, they can charge you for professional cleaner. It's a fair cost if the property is left in a messy stage. But generally, if you clean it well, you don't have to incur those. After that, you've been doing everything, you have done your part very well, you haven't messed up anything, and landlord is still trying to take some deposit from you. Now you have to go for deposit protection here. If you can't agree with the landlord, deposit protection have a free deposit dispute services where you have to supply evidence, landlord has to supply evidence, and they will be deciding that. If landlord doesn't agree with the process, then of course you can go to court as well. It's legally allowed. You can bring your landlord to the court and dispute there. Of course, long process, there might be some cost involved, but that's another way out on dispute settlement. So yes, this is very important because you can literally lose hundreds of pounds very easily if you don't care, if you don't take videos, or if you don't care for the property, or if you don't manage that or the email. And it's an easy save at the end of tenancy if you make sure that you have everything recorded in the system, if you have everything recorded in the emails, and you can literally dispute it anytime. That's what I did. I was successful. I paid zero deduction because I lived in property for 2 years. There were definitely some wear and tear, there was some damage, but that was not mine. It was generally but the property, property get appreciated if the stuff gets appreciated, so it was normal wear and tear, but I was not supposed to pay anything. They tried to charge me, but I disputed back, and I had all my deposit back within 10 days. So hopefully this video helps. Thank you so much for watching.